Thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news now at noon. Sources say Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has tested positive for COVID-19. So let's get right over to our Lance Allen, who's here with what we're learning just this afternoon. Lance.
Well, Ryan, this much we know. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network tweeted that Rodgers was not vaccinated. Rob Demovsky of ESPN.com tweeted Rodgers' comments from August 26th, 2021 at the end of training camp, where Rodgers says he was immunized but didn't clarify if he was vaccinated. Matt LaFleur just said moments ago that he is not going to get into Rodgers' vaccination status. That said, Jordan Love is expected to get the start on Sunday afternoon in KC against the Chiefs. If unvaccinated, Rodgers would have to be out a minimum of 10 days and couldn't return until November 13th, the day before the Seattle Seahawks game. NFL Network reporting that the league considered Rodgers unvaccinated because he petitioned the NFL to have an alternative treatment. Moments ago, Matt LaFleur addressing the situation. Let's take him live.
You know, it's unfortunate, and it's not like this thing can't happen to anybody. It's happened to a lot of people outside of this building.
In that regard, you've had surprised at what's happened these last couple of weeks with everything, or because since y'all have followed everything the way you have?
Well, it's the time of the season, right? I think that I know a lot of people even around Green Bay that are going through this right now, both vaxxed and unvaxxed. And so it just is what it is.
Matt, I know you're not going to get into the statuses of your players and coaches, but were you aware of his status, Aaron's status before today?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into anything.
When did you become aware of the situation with Aaron? Was it right, when we all did, or did you kind of know a little bit pre the news through Twitter and that?
Yeah, I knew before Twitter.
Hey, Matt, are you, has the club received any bad feedback from the NFL about your protocols, close contacts, about anything that Aaron maybe not wearing a mask, being in close contact, violating protocol?
Nothing to this point, at least.
Matt, I get your policy about not talking about vaccinations, but if he is unvaccinated, a lot of people are going to see that as being a selfish decision on his part, given what he means to your team. How do you see that?
I think everybody has to make their own personal decision, and that's just what it is.
So with Ben Kurt testing positive or being put on the list, and then Aaron, does that raise your questions about did this happen during Monday's meetings or anything like that? And that's the challenge for you is you lost your number 3 quarterback.
Yeah, well, Kurt wasn't even in here on Monday, so yeah, so it definitely didn't happen then.
So how does this play out for you today? Or yesterday, when did you find out that he was going on the COVID-19 list? And when did you start the ball rolling on figuring out what you have to do to win this game?
Yeah, that happened about, I want to say 8:30 or so, right before we went into meetings. So, it's like anything else. You got to make adjustments, and it's no different than in a game when we're playing Arizona and you lose a guy like Bobby. You got to make adjustments. And so it's just the way I look at it is it's another opportunity for somebody else to showcase what they can do. I do think that our team will rally around Jordan and we'll give it our best effort. I have a lot of confidence in our process and how we operate around here in terms of just the guys putting in the work, the preparation to go down there and play our best football game against a really good opponent, against one of the best in the league.
Moving forward today, at what point do you know whether you're, I don't want to say out of the woods, but when do you find out from the NFL if there's other close contacts? Like what comes next? Just trying to figure out who you're going to have or you're not.
That is a great question. That one that I cannot answer right now.
How concerned are you by the Halloween party that so many of your players attended last weekend?
Yeah, I don't know who was there, where it was, anything about it. So.
Because we said 8:30 this morning is when you started.
Correct.
Any update on Joe Barry and Davante Adams?
Yeah, I'm hoping that they'll be here tomorrow. So we'll see.
Matt, what kind of jump did you see from Jordan, though, this summer, being able to get the reps that he did, kind of being ready for this opportunity?
Definitely a comfort level in terms of just being able to spit out the play calls, the whole operation. And now it's going to come down to his ability to go out there and execute. And it's not an easy place to play. You're talking about one of the loudest stadiums in the National Football League, or the loudest stadium in the National Football League, against a team that's been to back-to-back Super Bowls. So it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Did you, especially with COVID not being out of the woods for any team, did you guys ever have a game plan in place in case something like this happened and you were without a future Hall of Fame?
Well, that's why everybody practices and comes to work on a daily basis. I mean, there's so many unknowns in this business. I mean, every guy is basically one play away from being in there, and you can sit there and you got to stress the importance of preparing like a starter. And so it's for times like this, when something comes up, you got to be ready to go. And some guys only get one opportunity at this thing, and you got to make the most of it.
Prepare a young quarterback for this so suddenly?
Same way we've done it every other player in this organization. You take it one day at a time, and I think, like I said, I think our guys do a great job of maximizing their time in the building, and I think they take it seriously and they take it to heart. Like, there's a lot of unknowns in football, and you got to be ready to go.
What it is with finding things out and having to adjust. But how many hours do you think you spent last week with Davante and Allen, and this week out there, and having to rework stuff that you would already put a plan in place?
Well, that's luckily we'll have a few extra days here to kind of go over everything and make sure we go through it with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that we're giving our guys the best opportunity to go out there and be successful.
Have you spoken with Aaron since learning this morning, and what was his reaction?
I just briefly spoke to him.
Has the league reached out yet, and do you expect to hear from them today?
Oh, I'm sure they're going to reach out at some point. I know that Doug Collins handles a lot of that communication with the league, and I just haven't had the chance to talk to Doug. We've been in meetings, and then I came here.
Aaron's, there's been a couple of players who've only spoken to us via Zoom over the course of the season. Obviously, Aaron has talked to us in person. I've never seen him with a mask. Has he skirted the rules at all during this?
Yeah, again, you guys are trying to, in a roundabout way, trying to get me to answer whether or not the guy is vaccinated or unvaccinated. And I'm not going there. So.
None of us have really got to know Jordan, right? Because of protocols last year and whatever else. What about his personality makes you feel like he's going to be able to embrace this moment and be ready for this?
It's just who he is as a competitor, as a man, as a football player. And I think our guys will do a great job of assisting him, rallying around him. And, I expect us to go out there and play a great game.
Does this alter what you wanted to do today in practice or tomorrow? Scout team, those kinds of things?
Well, it certainly has a compound effect when you have one quarterback in the building, in terms of just making sure that we get the reps that we want to get in, and without wearing a guy out where he has to go play with our first team offense and then go be the scout team quarterback. So, but it really didn't change a whole bunch, as far as today is concerned.
Is Jordan handling both, or do you have someone else that's plugged in as scout team quarterback?
Yeah, I might have to get loosened up and go out there.
Will you really?
No.
You do have some guys that have played quarterback. I mean, if it comes down to an emergency situation, you do have guys that play other positions and play quarterback. I know you obviously don't want to get into that situation, but do you even work with any of those guys this week just in case?
I think you got to have an open mind to anything and try to be as creative as possible in case, you get into a situation like that. I just know that going through and watching last season, we saw a team play a game with a wide receiver at quarterback. So you got to be prepared for everything.
I'm assuming you've spoken to Jordan since this all happened. Just what was his response reaction when he kind of realized what was going to
happen? Yeah, he was great. I mean, we talk about, having that no flinch mentality, and I didn't see any flinch in him. So I think he's excited about the opportunity. I think he'll prepare the right way and give it everything he has.
Did you have confidence department do you feel your team has based on what they did last week without some key players. Obviously, it's not Aaron Rodgers or the quarterback position. How much does that impact the confidence?
Yeah, I think everybody's got to look at themselves and making sure that they're the best version of them going into the game. There's no doubt about it. It's, you know, it's unfortunate when you lose great players. Nobody wants that to happen. But the only way that you can get through that is for each individual to be at their best. And it's the collective effort of everybody that gives you a chance to go out and win a game.
Two more in the room.
Hey, Matt, did you deliver the news to the team that Aaron wouldn't be with you, or was Aaron able to, through video or anything, talk to the team about it?
No, I talked to the team this morning. That was the first thing we brought up in the team meeting. And you're always going to shoot the team straight and tell them what you expect moving forward.
What was your pulse? What was the pulse of the team? Obviously, there must have been some shock within the locker room. No.
Yeah, I'm sure there was, but it's just like anything. You just gotta move on. You gotta move forward, I should say, and you gotta embrace the opportunity. Every time these guys get an opportunity to go out and compete, you gotta embrace that, and you gotta prepare to the best of your ability. And I think that's the mindset, and I think that's been the mindset all along.
When we talked on Friday, you weren't sure if you were still in the enhanced protocols. I assume you're in them now. Did you ever get out of them, or have you just been in it the whole time?
No, we are not in them as we speak. However, we've kind of been operating that way. I think our guys have done a really good job of making sure they're spacing out and masking up and doing all that. It's just, I really do think that it's just a time of the season. I mean, the weather's changing, people are getting sick, and it's just something that we're going to have to learn how to deal with.
Let's go to Zoom. Sarah, go ahead.
Yep, we have three. Go ahead, Rachel Hotmeyer.
Hi, Matt. This matchup has changed quite a bit given the Chiefs' performances as of late. Besides the next man up mentality, what do you think of this specific game opportunity for Jordan?
Yeah, I think he's just going to have to go out there and operate and lead our offense, and we're going to have to do a great job, just like we have been, of taking care of the football. And then conversely, on the defensive side, we're going to have to be opportunistic. I think just a lot of the Chiefs' struggles could attribute to them not winning the turnover battle. And so I know that's going to play a significant part this week. And we just got to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to be on the plus side of that.
Stephen Watson.
Hey, Matt, I know that you won't specifically address Aaron's status, but Aaron himself addressed it in August when he was asked about his vaccination status and said, quote, "Yeah, I've been immunized." Do you feel like a quote like that might be seen as misleading to fans?
It's a great question for Aaron. I'm not going to comment on it.
And last one, Stacey Dales.
Hey, Coach. Who is your backup quarterback going into this game? Do you guys plan on bringing a backup quarterback in? And what is the key to rapidly preparing a young quarterback, basically here in now 3 days, for the Chiefs on Sunday?
Well, as far as our backup, that's something that we're looking at right now. As far as is that person on our roster, I can't say right now. But I think our preparation is the same as it is every week. We try to prepare every individual in our program, whether they're a starter, a backup, a practice squad player, to go out there and execute and do their 111th. And that's going to be the mentality and the mindset. And that's exactly what we're going to go do today.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you.
That was head coach Matt LaFleur. By the way, it is his 42nd birthday. What a gift to him. Unbelievable. And this Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes star matchup, not going to happen again. 2019, Mahomes had a knee injury, so he didn't play, and now Aaron Rodgers out in Kansas City against the Chiefs. We will have continuing coverage on Aaron Rodgers testing positive on TMJ4.com and tonight on TMJ4 News, and of course coming up at 12:30 as well.